The psychedelic revolution is here. If you want to integrate your visionary experiences into your purpose, get clear on your entrepreneurial path, and help people while you do what you love, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to The Psychedelic Entrepreneur, medicine for these times. I'm your host, Beth Weinstein. I'm a spiritual business coach, 3-time entrepreneur, and a lifelong student of psychedelics and sacred plant medicines. You carry your own unique medicine, and your medicine is what we need for these times. This podcast will help you to share your medicine so you can create transformation in the world. Listen in on conversations with psychedelic leaders, changemakers, and conscious entrepreneurs who are living proof that a better world is possible when you follow your heart and live in alignment with your soul. Hey there, welcome back to The Psychedelic Entrepreneur, and today I'm going to talk about imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs and stories that you tell yourself about starting up your new business as a psychedelic pioneer or an aligned entrepreneur on a spiritual path to helping heal others and this planet and be in service. So, a pandemic that I see helping people start their business, and I say pandemic because I feel like this is just in so many people, and it's really affecting people in every culture and every area that come to my business coaching programs, where they run these stories, which are essentially limiting beliefs. Yes, this is the way the human mind works. We have these stories that we tell ourselves that do not serve us. They actually end up hurting us. And they keep us living in very limited realms of what we think we can do and what we can pull off and what we can make happen in our reality. And so I help a lot of people start and grow their psychedelic businesses, their coaching business, their spiritual business, their healing business. These kind of service-based, purpose-based, heart-centered businesses where you really want to make a difference in people's lives and have a business that supports you and feels really good, meaning you feel really called to do this. There's something in your heart. You want to give back. But what I see people struggle with more than anything is this feeling that they are just not ready, or now is not the right time, or I haven't done enough something enough, like enough training, or I haven't taken enough classes, or I don't have enough certifications. I also hear, I don't have the money to invest in my new business. I'm just going to figure it out all myself. But here's the thing. I'm going to walk you through a few questions. And if you really want to start shifting your mindset to create different results in your life, I highly recommend you write these down and take notes and answer these questions yourself. These are questions I ask my clients, current clients, and potential clients when I notice that they're actually just living from a pattern of a limiting belief that holds them back from living their dreams, essentially. And I get it. I was there once too. And I catch myself once in a while in limiting beliefs as well, but I've become so good at recognizing them and shifting my beliefs very quickly that I just keep growing exponentially. And this is what I want for you. The one thing I've noticed with this pandemic of entrepreneurship is that people really get stuck at that very first step more than any other time, because taking the first few steps is always the hardest. Of course, when you've been in business for 2, 3, 4 years, it gets a lot easier because you just get used to it and you know that the fear is just part of it. There's always going to be limiting beliefs and fears that come up. But that first step seems to be the hardest for a lot of people. This is why I, many years ago, decided to focus my business on helping people start their business and start to grow it. I also get a lot of people joining my coaching programs who have started their business or run a business for even a few years or even many years, and just go through this cycle of feast or famine, and they don't know what they're doing wrong. They feel really stuck. They're just not making enough money to truly support themselves. And they're like, I need to get help because nothing else is working and I cannot do this alone. So that's another set of clients that I get. So I tell them to hit the reset button and start from scratch. Doesn't mean get rid of everything, but it means really think about this in a new way and learn how to grow your business from the right beginning step so that you get results in your business. The problem is a lot of people start up their businesses by themselves. They try it out for a few years. They're not making that much money, $1,000 here, $1,000 there. They are literally making poverty level, under 20,000 a year, even under 30 or 40,000 a year. You can't live off of that in, at least here in most of the Western world where I live. So, but what I see is a lot of people coming to me with the same stories over and over. Who am I to do this? I'm definitely not trained enough. I'm not good enough. I haven't done enough certifications. Why would anyone hire me? Not right now. I need more this or more that or more this or more that. And they tell themselves these stories like, not right now. It's not the right time. Maybe next year, maybe after this, maybe after I save up a certain amount of money, maybe when it's not busy. By the way, okay, first question, ask yourself, when are you not busy? Like, we're all busy, right? Even in quarantine, we were pretty busy. So the first question, I'm going to walk you through this process that has you really, if you're willing to answer these and write these down, they will start to shift your limiting beliefs. So let's say it's your imposter syndrome that's saying, I'm not blank enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not trained enough, or who am I to do this, or I'm scared, or not right now, the timing isn't good. So ask yourself, what is it specifically that you are afraid of? Or what is it specifically that you don't feel blank enough? So is it specifically that you don't feel trained enough? Is it specifically that you just feel not good enough? What is it about that? And write down specifically what it is that you're afraid of. What is it specifically that is not, why is it not a good time for you now? Okay, so that's the first question. What would let you know that you are good enough to do this? What would let you know that you do have what it takes to be a successful psychedelic integration coach or a spiritual coach or, healer? What is it specifically that would let you know that you're ready and able to do this and that you do have what it takes to help people? Write that down. I really encourage you to answer that. Like, how will you know? When is that point in your life will you know, okay, today is April 23rd, 2029. Today I'm ready. So why is it that April 23rd, 2029, you're ready, but not today, whatever it is, November 2021? Like, why not now and why later? Like, and how will you know that that's the day you're ready? So write that down. And another thing I like to say to people is, okay, so let's say you're scared, or maybe you're just like, okay, I know I have something to offer. I know I can help people, but I just don't feel good enough, or I just don't feel like the time is right, or maybe, I haven't done enough training. So, or, you feel something pulling you, but then maybe you just feel like you can't do this yet. Like the timing's not right. So I want you to think of a time where you felt really guided or pulled to do something, even though it felt either challenging or scary or like something you can never do. Okay, so for example, I love using this one. I used to be a really big runner. Think of a time where you thought, like, I'm going to go run a 5K or a 10K, but oh my God, 6.1 miles, that's so far. I haven't run more than 5 minutes in my life. But then you went and did it. You trained and then you did it. Or think of a time, I don't know, the first time you went and did a large dose of psilocybin or something. And you were a little scared, right? Like, trust me, I get scared every time I go to work with medicines. So you're about to go into an ayahuasca ceremony or psilocybin session and you're feeling pretty scary, but you know there's something there for you. Like you feel the pull to do this, right? For some reason. How did it turn out? How did your 10K turn out? How did that, challenging job that you once took on, that you got accepted a job offer for a job that you thought would be a little scary? How did it turn out? So write down examples of times where you've gone into something feeling not good enough or like I can't do this or scared, and write down how did it feel when you first started, and then how did it feel after or during, and how did it turn out? Did you successfully show up to the job and everything turned out okay? Did you finish the marathon? Did you make it out alive out of your high dose psilocybin? Yes, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. And then how did it feel afterwards? Most of the time people report, oh my God, it felt so good afterwards. I'm so glad I had the courage to do that. It's the same thing with business. It's the same thing with starting your business. So write that down as an exercise. It's really good. And I have my clients sometimes write out many, many examples of this to really start to build that self-trust, to know like, hey, I actually do have the experience and the life journey to be able to help people. I do have a natural ability to help people. I have been working with psychedelics for a long time. I've done my own integration. I can help people. Okay, so, and just know that my intention with these exercises is not to upset you or stress you out or get you like downward spiraling, but only to help you really consider that there's always another perspective to your limiting beliefs. So if you think of it, I'm very visual. I love giving visual, tangible exercises for my clients inside of my group programs. One of them is writing down the limiting belief here on the left side of the paper and writing down the opposite belief right here on the right side of the paper. And these are the same exercises. So for every belief that you tell yourself, for every story you tell yourself, there's always an opposite to it. Like everything in life, there's always a polarity. You can't have good without bad. You can't have bad without good. No, we cannot actually have a world. Well, maybe, I don't know, give us, hundreds or thousands of years. But right now we can't have a world that exists without like the good and the evil, the polarities. This is just the law of nature, the law of reality. So this is the same thing with your thoughts that you tell yourself. I'm not good enough, not right now. The timing's not good. Maybe next year, I don't have enough. This is a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. So I always say, let's say you're struggling with investing into a coaching program. Like, you need help to start your business because you haven't been able to yet. You've been thinking about this for a while and you still haven't made real progress. Like maybe you've started an Instagram, maybe you have ideas, but you haven't actually made money or you haven't made enough money. Consider that the reason why you might, the exact reason why you're struggling is the exact reason why you need support. Because that's always the case, actually. This is like a secret as a coach, but it's not a secret. So when people say, I don't have the money for your coaching program, it's because they haven't learned how to make money with their business. If you don't have time to invest into, a 7-week program or even my mastermind program, then you have to ask yourself, well, why is it that you don't have the time? And maybe that's the reason why you actually need a coach to help you manage and figure out what it is that you're doing wrong to not find, 1 hour a week to start your business. Starting your business is not a full-time job. It's actually, at least in my program, my mastermind program is designed to work into your life. So a lot of my clients, I would say over 50% of them actually have full-time or part-time jobs while they start their business. And that's the one thing to know is this isn't something that you have to do or have to wait to do. This is something you take steps to do while you have a job or while you have income so that there is a day where you can actually just quit and make your business a full-time business. So ask yourself, what is it that you're afraid of when it comes to starting your business? Is it, feeling like you're not blank enough, like not good enough, or you feel like an imposter, well, consider that that's the reason why you actually need support of a coach and a community to help you get past that feeling and start to get into action that has you know that you actually are capable of helping people, that has you really build your confidence and start to embody the feeling in your body of knowing that you actually are able to help people right now exactly as you are. So I invite you to ask yourself how often you tell yourself these stories. So I'm afraid, I'm scared, I'm not blank enough, I feel like an imposter, I don't have what it takes, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money. Whatever your excuse is, and I do think they are excuses, but it's okay. They're mostly like subconscious, but they are limiting beliefs. Ask yourself and write this down. How long have you been telling yourself these stories? And where else in your life do these same stories show up? Like, do you say to your friends, I don't have time? Or you say like, oh, I don't have time to go on that vacation, or oh, I don't have time to take that class that I really want to take. Or here's one of my own examples. I keep meaning to go horseback riding again. And it's like, I don't have time. But then I catch myself and I'm like, well, it's actually not that I don't have time. It's that I just don't make the time, right? So if you tell yourself the story, I'm not good enough, I'm not blank enough, I'm not qualified enough, I'm not worthy of accepting money, well, look in other areas of your life. Where else are you saying that you're not good enough? Maybe you haven't asked for a raise at your job in years. Maybe you're like sucking up a job that you hate because you don't feel good enough for another job. Maybe you're in a relationship that's not serving you because of the same thing. You feel like, oh, well, how else will I meet others? So these stories, these limiting beliefs usually play out in more than one area. So usually when someone has the feeling of I'm not enough, I'm not blank enough, it's usually playing out in many other areas. And if you pay attention, which by the way to pay attention is daily meditation. If you pay attention to your thought process and your thoughts that you tell yourself, you will notice yourself saying this in other versions, in other areas of your life. So it's not even just about your business. It's about being good enough for other areas, or worthy enough, or accepting in abundance, or accepting in love and support from the universe. So this is why my coaching containers tend to be highly transformational. Because when you start to shift in one area of your belief system, meaning entrepreneurship, starting a business, showing up in service, helping people, what happens is other areas of your life will also start to shift. It's inevitable because it's all tied in together. It's our mindset. And it's how you keep yourself from having all that you want in your life, including a business that you love that actually supports you. Okay, so next few questions. Remember, write these down and do these exercises. What's more important to you? To stay exactly where you're at right now, to stay stuck, or to start to get curious and answer the call or answer the pull from spirit and start taking steps towards doing what you love. So you can stay stuck for another 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, or you can just start to take little steps and get curious. What's more important to you? Staying where you are or taking little steps? And I'm not telling you to go quit your job. I'm telling you to just take little steps. Get curious. So really ask yourself, like, what is more important, staying comfortable and stuck, or just getting curious and playing around and taking tiny little steps to start growing your business? Okay, that's question. And next question, what's more important to you? To try something out, get curious, try something new, and put in a little bit of time and effort? Or would you rather be a prisoner to your stories and your limiting beliefs, or a prisoner to time? So when someone says, I don't have time, well, what's more important to you? Being a prisoner to time, or creating, 45 minutes of time once a week? Or what's more important to you? Netflix time or what you do for a living time? You know what I mean? Like, you have to start answering these really hard questions about what's more important to you. to watch Netflix for 2 hours a week, or watch Netflix for less time and maybe add in an hour instead focusing on your business. So you have to figure out what's more important to you. And if you're not ready to put aside the time story and say like, actually, I do want to help people. I do want to start a business and I'm willing to invest, an hour a week. And I am going to find an hour a week in my schedule to set aside this time. And sometimes that does mean putting aside other things. So when I started my first business, I was really busy. I was working a full-time job, not only full-time, but working like long hours full-time. And I lived in New York City. And I was, younger and single and all that, and had a social life. And New York City is just so social. I played sports. I ran marathons, soccer team, activities, just one thing after another. And what I decided when I started that business was, okay, I'm going to cut out my soccer team. No big deal. There's soccer all the time. I could always go back to a soccer team. And for those of you Europeans, I mean football. So just that's super simple. Or it's like, okay, I quit watching Netflix and I'm doing other things that are more important to me. Trust me, I'm not telling you to just quit Netflix altogether, but if you have time to watch Netflix or go on Instagram or surf Instagram or share people's stories, then you have time to work on your business. And only you can determine what is more important to you, flipping through Insta stories or spending that time on your business instead. Okay. So just know that I do understand how these limiting beliefs and fears can really hold you back, but you're not making any huge drastic changes to start and grow your business. You're just shifting and taking some steps. There is a way to overlap everything so that it doesn't freak out your nervous system and make you feel this sense of overwhelm. This is the first thing I say to people. Don't quit your job, and always have something where you're not going to have this anxiety just from taking little steps to start your business. And here's the thing. Some of my clients inside of my mastermind program, even in my intensive program, some people get clients within the first weeks, within 6 weeks even less sometimes. Some people take a little longer. Some take months, some take 6 months. It's usually up to you what you put in. But if you really want it, you can actually grow your business very fast to the point where you could actually quit your job quickly. When I started this official coaching business, because I was doing it unofficially for a while, it took off relatively fast. And there was a point where I was like, wow, this is real. Here it is. It's a business. And if you're willing to do the work and willing to invest time and energy and willing to be open to have major mindset shifts, then you can easily make your living doing this as a business. I've had tons of clients go on to create big businesses and success where it actually is supporting them. So if it's possible for me, it's possible for them. It's definitely possible for you as well. But only you can ask yourself those hard questions, whether this is actually important to you or not. The one thing I would really say is I love when people say, oh, I don't have the time, la, la, la. Here's the thing. Here's where you really have to tap into your future self. So right now you don't have a lot of time because you're a prisoner to a job that makes you work on their schedule. But when you go to create your own schedule completely, then time is all yours. So I never really feel like a prisoner to time. I mean, sometimes if I'm in the middle of a huge launch and there's just a lot going on, sure. Sometimes when I have scheduled calls, okay. But I get to create my own time schedule all the time. For example, I'm going on a retreat in a few weeks in Costa Rica, where I get to go on a retreat, do some work, serve clients, but live life on my own terms in my own time. And this is where I say, like, every limiting belief can actually shift when you tap into your future self. Like, if you're saying, I don't have the money to invest into business coaching, well, guess what? When you actually invest the money in a business coaching, you'll end up making more money, which then allows you tons of money to then keep investing in whatever it is you want. Like the retreat I'm going on, it's like $5,000, $5,000 plus I don't know, $400 flight, something like that. And I don't even flinch because the money is not like an issue. Yes, 8 years ago when I was starting out the business, or 10 years ago when I was starting my other business, like starting out those first couple years, maybe it's like, okay, it's different. But once you grow and invest and learn the right ways to grow your business, the money doesn't become an issue because you're actually making way more money than you ever made at your job job. So this is where it becomes another mindset shift to really tap into your future self and imagine what your future self would choose. Make decisions from where you want to go, not where you are now. That has been my biggest key to my success. Every time I invest into something that feels really scary or like, oh my God, is this going to work? Is this going to be wasting my money? It always pulls me to my future self a lot quicker. That's how I end up getting my investment right back. And here's the thing. All of my coaching programs are designed so that if you get just 1, 2, or even 3 clients, the entire program pays for itself. So that's where, you can choose to stay in these stuck, present, current patterns of limiting beliefs, or you can choose to look at things from the future self perspective of, well, this is how I choose, right? By the way, my program is nowhere near this much, but one of my coaches cost me like $30,000. That's a lot of money. But when I invest, I already know I'm going to make, 2, 3, 4 times that back just by being in that program. So my program is a lot less money than that. It's not even 5 figures at all. So if you invest, let's say, $700 a month into your growth, and then 6 months later, you start earning $2,500 or $3,000 a month. Isn't that a good investment? Or if you invest $9,000 into learning how to grow your business, and then within that year, you actually make $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, even more in your business, isn't that a good return on your investment? So investing $9,000 to make $30,000, hey, that's a no-brainer. Investing $9,000 to make $75,000, $150,000, it's very much a no-brainer. Here's the thing. Even investing $9,000 to make $15,000, it's technically a good investment. But here's the thing. Everything you learn inside my programs is something that is repeatable over and over and over. So even if you only got like 2, 3, 4 clients in my program, it doesn't mean that ends after my program ends. It means that you keep going and expanding and growing and growing and growing. And this kind of business, as long as you show up, you keep going with it, they will always grow and expand over time. So it's exponential growth. You have to see it that way. But the reality is everybody starts somewhere with their business. And the first and hardest part is just to take that very first step. That is always, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. That is always the hardest part of doing something new, including starting your business. So anyways, that was pretty much it. Remember, my intention with this episode is not to stress you out or upset you. My intention is to help you to start to see things differently and help you have mindset shifts. So mindset is a huge thing that we do cover inside of all my coaching programs, because the reality is it is usually what is stopping most people, pretty much everybody, from creating the business that they love. It is not just the marketing or not just knowing how to, create a website or a funnel or an email list or whatever it is. It is you and your thinking that is actually stopping you. And I want you to start having shifts so that you can go serve people, create change on the planet, make a difference in the lives, and have a life that you love with the freedom that you want to live life exactly how you want. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for the world. I know it's possible. I did it. My clients have done it, and you can too. And I really mean that. So if you have any questions, you can always email me or Instagram or Facebook me. I am always the person that reads the questions and the answer, and I will answer you. So just reach out. I'm a real person. I'm here to help you. Thank you so much for being here, and tune in on Tuesday mornings as we release new episodes of The Psychedelic Entrepreneur. Here's to being a psychedelic pioneer and making a difference in the world. Thank you for your service, and I will see you next week. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're feeling inspired, I'd appreciate it if you showed your love with a review. And check out my YouTube channel where you can find the video version of this podcast. You can also head to bethaweinstein.com to learn more about me and grab my free business growth trainings. Remember, you carry your own unique medicine, and your medicine is what we need for these times.